Abby. Yay, Abby and Linda. Okay, I'm just gonna adjust this real quick. Hi guys, Linda, I'm so glad that you came. That makes me feel so much better. Hi everybody. Hi Kimmy. Woot, woohoo. Okay, let's see who we've got here. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna put on my little granny glasses so I can see. All right, we've got a few people here. I know this is so last minute. I'm just gonna go share this to my Facebook page. I'll be right back. I'll be right there, guys. I promise. I'm just getting this little link in here. As promised. All right. Where are we? Sure would be helpful if I had a tech person here working with me, right? Okay, give me one sec. Why did it give me that? There we go. Okay, hopefully that works. Hi guys. Okay, so I'm just sitting down now. Oh, you're here, Belinda. Aw, poor Belinda. Our beloved Belinda is not feeling well. And Linda is not feeling so great herself. So I can't even believe you guys are here. So thank you for being champions. But in the meantime, Abby, who is just an amazing, amazing person, is here. And so is Kimmy. Kimmy's helping us tonight for the first time. So I'm so appreciative. I'm so grateful. And I know this is so last minute. I had every intention of doing this actually earlier in the week. And life just kind of gets in the way sometimes, as you all know. And this particular week was the end of the school year for my kids, so it was extra chaotic. So I am thrilled that this actually worked out for tonight because I wasn't even sure that that was going to work out. Hi, Rain. Who else is here? But anyway, this is kind of like a special little tutorial I'm doing tonight. I've had, hi, Honor. I've had a few requests as of late. Sometimes I get messages from colorists and they say, please, 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 can we see more of this? Can we see more of this? We'd really like to see one of these. And I have been getting some requests for more stones. And this picture that I did that you're looking at, which is Madamoiselle Malachite, I used malachite stones in the picture just because I was fascinated by them. And in addition to that, I knew I wanted her to have this golden reddish strawberry blonde hair. And I needed something to contrast that. So green against that hair would obviously make it really stand out. So I decided to investigate green stones. So I happened upon malachite, and malachite is really amazing. Like, I had no idea. And I'm not a person who studies um, the energies of stones and minerals and crystals and all of that. I mean, that's not to say I don't believe in it, but I just don't have much experience with it. But I was doing a little bit of research about malachite, and I am glad that I did, because I found out all kinds of really cool information. But malachite, first of all, I should start off by saying that if you might have this image already, it was actually initially put into a book called Faces for Charity, that was put on by my friend Selena. And it was a benefit for Australia, actually. And a portion of the proceeds of that PDF download book went directly to Red Cross Australia. And when I decided to do this image, I didn't realize at the time until later that malachite is actually an Australian stone. And it's also found in other places around the world. It's found in Russia and Zaire and Namibia, African countries, and it's found in Chile and Mexico, and it's even here in the US. Of course, Linda's thanking me for supporting Australia, but here's the thing, you guys. So many of my Australian followers are, huge into coloring, and they've been such an amazing support to me. And especially this past winter, when the fires took over Australia, I was devastated for my friends that live there. I mean, I was checking in with a few of them daily to just try to find out what was going on. But I was so happy that I had done this image and it benefited Australia back then, because once that book was done being sold, and that, the donations went towards helping Australia with the one charity, then after that, I actually put this image up right when the fires were taking place. I put this image up on Etsy, and I donated 100% of the proceeds also to the Australian Red Cross. And then I was contacted by Coloring Heaven magazine to contribute this image as well to their Australian edition, which is out right now. So if you're looking for this image and you have the Australia edition, you can find it right in there. Hi, Rochelle. Glad to have you. And welcome to anybody who's just joining us. I'm sorry, I'm talking away, and I haven't seen if some more people have joined us. But anyhow, this particular image, again, has been used in multiple ways to benefit Australia. And that makes me really happy, because I have so many dear friends, like Linda and Belinda from there, and some of my other friends as well. And if I know that it's doing their country some good, that makes me happy. And in addition to that, I want to go and visit their country someday. So that would be good. Anyway, but right now you can find it in the Australia edition of Coloring Heaven magazine, and a portion of the proceeds are actually going to benefit Australia through them as well. So that makes me happy. So this is the original. This is the image that I created. Where is my grayscale version? Here it is. My grayscale version. All right. So this is the page that we're talking about. And I can lift this up just a little and see. You guys can see a little bit better. Sorry, a little bit of adjusting going on here. And what I would like to do tonight, I was asked by Coloring Heaven to do a little bit of a tutorial for you guys, and on how to color malachite. And I figure, the malachite coloring is actually really easy. In fact, it's so easy, I'm going to color one along with you, but I'm also going to show you how to draw malachite. It's really easy. But I thought maybe we'd do some some green pearls as well, like these ones here, because this is a grayscale image and all of the information that you need is really already put in here except for what color you want to make this. So it's, you know, kind of, it makes it a lot easier. But we'll talk about doing pearls too. And if you haven't already seen, I don't know if you are all subscribers to my website, or I'm sorry, to my YouTube, but if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to check out my channel and see on there I have a number of other stones that you can try to use to learn how to create your own realistic looking stones. So we've got opals and tiger eye and spectralite and a bunch of different kinds of pearls. So you're welcome to do that as well. And yeah, I thought we'd do that. And then if there's still time, let's see, what time is it right now? It's 7:11. I figure this will take us probably at most an hour altogether. And if there's still time, we can do a faceted stone too, which again, the information in a grayscale page is here. It's already there for you. So it's just a matter of my explaining it to you so that you can make it the most vivid, realistic creation that you possibly can. Okay. So are you guys ready for this? All right, let me just try to even this little camera out because it's a little bit funky. There we go. That's better. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, I hope everybody's doing okay. I was so sad today or last night when I talked to a couple of my amazing sometime mods because they weren't doing so well. And I think everybody right now is having a hard time. Everyone is struggling with the state of our world. There's just so much chaos. So I really wanted to do this sooner rather than later and make sure I kept to a promise that I had made to do this because you just never know what's going to happen. I mean, that's obviously been the lesson learned lately, but I'm hopeful that things will settle down a little bit and that our lives will get back to a somewhat normal pace without so much negativity surrounding us. Speaking of negativity, one of the little characteristics I learned about with the malachite is that it's actually, first of all, it's a semi-precious stone and it absorbs negativity. It absorbs negativity. I think that's pretty awesome. So we could all use that right now. And I got really, really lucky today. This is why I feel like everything is looking good, positive. I got really lucky today. I had ordered these and they finally came in the mail. They're actual malachite. They're malachite stones. They're little beads. And I thought that these were so pretty. And I wanted to share them with you so that we could talk about, aren't those so pretty? And malachite isn't real expensive, you guys, so if you're really interested, you can buy them. And they sell them all over Etsy. I think I got this one on Etsy. Yes, I did. But really what they are is, first of all, they're a semi-precious stone. They are opaque. I know, aren't they awesome, Abby? I was like, yay, I saw the mailman pull up. I went running outside. I wanted to have these so badly. I ordered them and I paid extra to have them sent here faster because the mail these days right now, you never know what you're going to get when you're going to get it. But I really wanted them so that I could show you guys. But they're opaque and they are made of bands, you can see, of different tones of green. Hi, Eva. Different tones of green. So there's like a really light minty green. There's sort of a medium green, and then there are some darker green, almost black bands. And then some of them, you can see there's variation between them. So these ones have these bands or striations closer together. This one has them further apart. This one I thought was really interesting because, you know, it almost looks like Saturn or something. It's got, you know, swirls, and a number of them, they come when you order them like this, they come on a little, I'll show you a little string like that. Isn't that awesome? You can see how much variation there is among the different pieces. But just so you know, because I'm trying to explain this from both a scientific standpoint and the art teacher standpoint, just so you know, they're opaque, they're shiny, but you can't see through them. There's no translucency to them. And that's what I wanted to check on, you know, seeing them firsthand as opposed to looking at images of them, so that you know how to accurately and realistically depict the stone itself. So there's malachite. And now my hand is just filled with positive energy. I'm going to put it in this hand so that I can draw really well for you guys today. All right. So we're going to start with doing some of these. What do you think? You want to do that? We'll get started there. And what I'm going to do, let's see, I have to make a decision now how I want to do this first, is I think I'll do it like I did this one, because this is a good example. So I printed out some little separate ones so you guys could see. And if you have this picture in a book, you can make a copy of it. If you have adjustment settings on your copier or your printer, you can lighten it just a little bit. It might make it a little easier to cover some of the stone parts or change some of them if you want to actually change the way that it flows. That's up to you. Or just print it as is, and it's going to be a little bit darker, and that's fine. It works either way. But I'm also going to show you how to draw one, and then we'll do some of the stones. Maybe I'll try one on her as well. Okay? So I want to show you what I have with me tonight so you can see all the colors that I have, because I did not make a formal list because I had so many colors out. And I just wanted to show you what I will definitely be using. I'm going to pull all the ones I'm definitely going to use here first, because I know for sure, pretty sure, that we're going to be using these. And let's see. Okay. Oops. This is my short list right here. And then I'll show you all the other, the extensions that I have so you guys know what I'm using. I'm using Prismas. You guys can use whatever pencil brand you feel most comfortable with. And in the back of my Secrets of Coloring 2 book, if you guys have that, there is a chart for a lot of the, a good number, I don't remember how many I did, maybe it was 5 or 7, I can't remember, of the most popular, more economy brand pencil equivalents to Prismacolor. So if you were looking for that, it's in the back of that book, The Secrets of Coloring 2. So here are the colors that I have. And again, you can see some of these are older pencils, and it doesn't really matter. Either way is fine. This is black at the end here. But I've got my colorless blender, and I'm using a Prismacolor one today. I ordered it and finally got it. And thank you, Abby. If you go to my website, you can find any of my books at moderncoloring.com/books. And this color here is probably one of my oldest pencils. This is Apple Green 912, if that's what it's still called. I think it is. I know they've changed a couple of their green color names. And then 907 is Peacock Green. 908 is Dark Green. 909 is Grass Green. And 920 is Light Green. You may or may not want to add just a little bit of cooler color with a light aqua color. This is 992. And then sort of as an extension, oh, and I did not tell you guys that I do have a white Derwent Chinese White pencil that I'm going to be using. I just feel like a couple of the Prismas I just got for some reason are a little crumbly, the white ones, and I don't know if there's a problem with them. I've never had that happen before. But generally speaking, I feel like this white is a little bit bolder. It's a little bit whiter. It's a drawing pencil, but I really, really like it. You can use your Prismacolor white, or you can try to use your Lumi white. That's fine too. And then I also put, for some of the other stuff that we're going to be doing, oh, and you will definitely want a gel pen. I have a jelly roll. I have a list, you guys. It's my Amazon influencer list. All of these products are found on that list. So if you're ever wondering what I'm using, it's all listed there. And it's actually a direct link into Amazon. It's an affiliate thing, but you don't get charged anything for it. Amazon just thanks me for pointing you in their direction. So this is a white jelly roll. You can use whatever you prefer. And I have two Poscas, two white Poscas, and one of them isn't as good as the other one. So I might have to do a little experimenting before I use it. So you can use your jelly roll or your Posca or both. Sometimes I feel like one works better than another. Sometimes I don't, you know, it's just sort of your preference. And then I always have, you guys know my secret weapon, my Mono Zero eraser pen. I have that here. I do have a white Prismacolor. I have sort of sitting by in case I decide that I need to use them, and I know not everybody has these. Hi, Pam. This is a Verithin indigo blue. A Verithin, it's Prismacolor. It's the harder version of Prismacolors, and they are really good to have. I would definitely encourage you to get a few, even if you buy them open stock. But you can get a set for really inexpensive. Like the 24 set is really not very expensive at all. And these are a great addition to have because they're harder and you can use them for details. So I do have, this is an old one you can see I've had for forever. And then this one here is a brand new one. I have black, and then I have indigo blue. In addition to those pencils, just in case I decide I need them, and if we do that faceted stone, I'll definitely use some of these. Chartreuse, $9.89. Indigo, $9.01. True Green, $9.10. And hi, Kelly. And then Jade Green, which is $10.21. And Jade Green, if you arrange your pencils by what they look like, you might actually mistake it as a gray because it's a very neutral green, but this is what we're gonna need, okay? Yay, we've got some people here. Oh, I'm so excited. That's great because this is so last minute, and I apologize because I really had every intention of doing this earlier in the week, and you know, crazy times. So, okay, so I'm going to show you on here. Well, I'm trying to think. Maybe I should just do the drawing part with you guys and skip this because we really don't need to do this. I think I will. I will. Okay, so let's draw. How about we draw first? If you have a little pencil, like a regular pencil, I know I didn't put that on my list, but if you have like a regular, any kind of pencil, go grab it. I'll give you a second. Now, if you have something, you can freehand this. You can do this as a circle. You can do this using something that you trace. If you have one of those like anything that's an oval shape. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. This is a template, a stencil, and it works really well for when I'm drawing. I often use stencils if I'm trying to create a geometric shape because it's just a clean, clear way of doing it. And it makes it go quickly too. But if you don't have one of these, you can trace anything, and you can trace a coin. I would probably do a quarter or a $50 if you have one, just to make it big enough. And yeah, that's what I would definitely do. All right, so what I'm going to do here, what I'm going to attempt to do here, let's see, I think I'll do this size right here. So I'm going to trace this little oval right here, and And I'll give it a little bevel edge as well, so it has a setting to sit in. These little lines here indicate the center points. I'm just going to mark them real quick. Okay. I'm going to try to get this. I'm not doing a perfect job here on making this centered, but if I were doing it for a real drawing, I would. But you'll get the point. Okay, so I've made a double oval. Okay, so you can either draw this, or if you just want to do this while we're doing this, you can do the stone itself or any of the stones on this page. You can choose whichever stones you want to do. Okay, and you can actually change some of them. You can add little details to them that don't exist. Okay, so I'm going to do this here first to show you that it's really pretty easy. I'm going to start with my peacock green. And as you guys saw in my malachite stones, they vary so much. And I mean, look at that. That's crazy how different they are. I'm trying to get the light on here a little bit better so you can see. So, no, there we go. So they're banded and they have different shapes, and you can see there's almost like a V shape in this one here. And on this side, I don't know if you guys can see that real well, there's almost like little knots like you would see in wood. I don't know what those are called in the stone world, but it's almost like an agate. So if you guys have ever seen agate, slices of agate, it's kind of like that. Let's see, I lost my comments here. I hope that you guys still able to comment okay? I just want to make sure I can see if anybody has any questions. So, is that better or worse? Okay, good. Thanks, Honor. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my peacock green, which is 907, and I'm going to just start drawing some general shapes. So they can be bands that go together in one direction. They can be bands that loop around. They can all be going in a diagonal sort of direction. Thanks, Abby. That's good. That's fine. I just want to make sure that I can see in case everybody has questions. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to freehand it, and I'm going to kind of draw across my stone. I'm not going to draw on this outer part though, because that would be my metal bezel, whatever it's going to be. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line, let's say from here to here, and notice how I kind of curved it this way. That's because I decided I'm going to have that stone kind of facing that direction, okay? And then I'm going to draw another band, maybe one that kind of goes like that. And what I'm basically doing is mapping out a stone, what I would do with this stone, okay? And then maybe I'll have another shape come down like this. And another one in here. Okay. I don't want to make this too complicated, but I want to show you how you can change a stone, even if it's in grayscale, especially if you do lighten it up a little bit. If you make a copy, which you guys are welcome to make a copy of any page, and you know, as long as it's for personal use, and lighten it for yourself. And let's see, I'm going to go this way with this one. There we go. It's got a nice flow to it. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put another little shape in here, kind of echoing this bigger one. Okay. And I'm going to put another line that goes this way. Got something. Oh, that's my pencil mark from earlier. So I guess that's not going to erase. Whatever. Maybe I'll use my little details. Sorry, guys, obsessing over little things. Which you don't have to erase yours, but that just makes me feel better. I don't know why. I'm going to cover it up anyway. But anyhow, so what I would next do is I would choose to take some of these bands and make them a little bit thicker than others. So like perhaps maybe I would take this band and I would make it double the thickness. Because we need some variation in here. And one of the reasons that I asked you to have a range of green colors is because one of the things that's really neat about this stone is the variation in colors. I'm going to widen this one here. And this is just like random, the ones that I'm choosing to do that. You can do it however you want. You could make a really wide band. Or you could make, like, for example, we could do one of those little knots right here. So we actually have something like that there. Thank you, Miss Abby. Okay, so I'm just going over these a little bit more. And I think I'm gonna thicken this one too. And I might actually go back in and decide I want something to be even thicker, you know, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes you'll see like a little skinny little V shape. Kind of goes like that and goes nowhere. So there we go. So there's the basics of my stone, okay? And what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna just sort of pretend that we have some basic lighting here. Now, this kind of stone that's sort of a rounded stone is called a cabochon. And a cabochon is a dome-shaped stone, basically. It's rounded, it doesn't have facets. Now, sometimes they have flat surfaces, and when I did this drawing, you can see by where I put the reflections on this stone, you can see how it looks, it has like a flat top here, and then this side here is a little bit angled, and then it's angled downwards over here. So it's kind of like a plateau. Okay, so you can create a stone that looks flatter on the surface if you use a highlight close to the edge of where you want that line to be, and if you create shading that's more stark, that changes from lighter into darker pretty suddenly, like this here, okay? And if you don't want to create that kind of effect, if you want to have more of a subtle effect, then you can just do some basic shading. By the way, I always recommend you keep your pencils really sharp. Some basic shading. I'm still using the same pencil. And I'm also just going to go up to the edges here. I'm going really light, barely any pressure. Okay, and since we are making this stone, since this wasn't already previously drawn for you, there's a little bit more variation that you can add to it. So where you want your light sources, it's easier to do it on, you know, a blank surface rather than a grayscale colored stone. However, if you are learning how to color, then it's very helpful to have a grayscale stone right there in front of you. And I'll show you how that goes too. So we've got the basics down, and I'm just gonna move this out of the way for a sec. And I'm gonna next move into my dark green, which is 908. And I'm gonna add to a couple of these stripes, I'm gonna change the coloration a little bit so there's more variation. Okay. Like that. Now that peacock green is a very blue green. It's very cool. So if you want a lot of variation in your colors, you might want to put a coating on top of it of another color, like this one here. So I've just added a little bit of that. You can already see it's already starting to come together. Now I'm going to add a little bit more of this down here. Okay. Now, I'm coloring the bottom of this. If the light is coming from the top, I'm coloring the bottom of this darker down here because this stone is not transparent. This stone is opaque, meaning we cannot see through it. No matter what I do, I can't see through it. And you guys saw that in the examples that I showed you. You don't see any light coming through those stones like you would. Hang on. My little miniature stone collection here. So you can see light going through this stone here. This, I think it's rainbow topaz, is that what it's called? I can't even think. But you can see, you know, in those facets, you can actually see the light, right? Right. So it's a different kind of an effect. We're not drawing the light coming through at the bottom in this case. We're making the darkest part the bottom. Okay, so I just added a little bit of that dark green, and it's already starting to take on some form. Now, here's where you can kind of set it on fire a little bit, make it really pop. This is 912, this is apple green, and it's a warmer green. And I'm gonna add a little bit of this into the center of the stone. And warm it up, because right in the belly, in the midst of this stone here, if we wanted to pop out more there, then we want to add some warmer colors there. So I would definitely add some of this in there. Okay. All right. As far as variation is concerned, if you want more variation, you might want to go into your 920, which is your light green. And I will go in and, you know, depending on how you like your coloring to look, if you want it to look more polished, if you want to do more blending, then feel free. Okay. So there's more of that. Now I'm starting to lose a little bit of my darkness, so I'm going to go back in with my dark green, and I'm going to add those darks back in. Okay, but you can see how it's all sort of starting to come together a little bit, right? Just a little bit at a time. So, and then now while I'm here, I'm going to take this dark green and I'm going to just circle around this outer edge just a little bit and define it just a little bit. Okay, that's looking pretty good. If you want to, you can burnish. It's up to you. You don't have to. I might take like this is my Chinese White Derwent pencil. You can use your Prismacolor pencil, whatever you prefer, and just go in and smooth out some of these areas just a little bit. And if you feel the need to go back in and crispen up the lines, then do it. Another color that I have here is grass green, which is 909. I might go in and add a little layer of that in here. Thanks, Abby, but you can see it's actually pretty easy, right? You saw me do it. You can do it too. Okay, so now that we have that there, what I'm probably going to do is add a little bit of green. I'm still using, this is the grass green. It's not quite as dark and cool as the green I put down there. It's a little bit warmer. But I want to build some up around these edges here so that I can make the highlights I'm going to add pop. Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit here. I think that that looks pretty good. Now, if you want to make some really stark lines, you can go back in and you can use your peacock, you could use black, you could use indigo blue. you can, you know, really make some of them stand out. Let's see, maybe I'll make one of them really stand out. I'm using dark green again right now. I'm gonna make that one stand out. And that one stand out. Right? Okay. And now this is looking more like one of these where it doesn't have as flat of a top as something like this, right? Hi, Emily. Yay. That's so cool that you're here. This is so last minute. This is so fly by the seat of my pants. I'm not even like, I'm not going on camera. I'm wearing like my comfy clothes. So anyway, glad to have you here. So you can choose, we could take this here and we could just darken the very bottom of it. So like if I wanted to use black, I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it this way here, and then on the final picture, I'll do it the other way. I could use a little bit of black. Don't overdo it with the black. And here's the thing about the black. The black is a wonderful pencil to use, but you don't want to use too much of it because this one here is, it's a little warmer actually, in my opinion, than some of the other darker colors here. And you don't want to warm up those dark areas too much because we want them to look like they turn under. So we don't want to warm them up too much. However, black is the darkest color that we can use, so it does help us in that regard. So if you get to, if it starts looking too warm, you might want to add a little bit of blue, indigo blue or something over it. Okay, so I am just adding a little bit of black down here and to the edge. And I'm going to go around the top as well. Because what would happen in a setting is a stone would actually be, you know, set into a piece of metal of some sort. And there would be a little bit of a shadow surrounding it. Does that look okay? Hi! Okay, let's see. Long time no see, Jennifer. Hi, Sherry. I know. I'm not on very often, but I have plans to be. I really do. I have made promises, and I will be back more. In fact, I'm doing a little something special over this next month, collaborating with another artist slash YouTuber to bring you guys something kind of special. So, which is still under wraps. So we shall see. Okay. All right, so that looks pretty good. Now, I am going to use, let me just test out my Poscas here. So I have a few different things here. I have Poscas. This might be my Poscas are old. My Poscas are kind of old. Okay, let's see here. Ugh. Not the best. I also have this stuff. Maybe we'll try using this too. I want to show you a couple things. So have you guys seen this stuff? So brush and pencil, and this is the titanium white powder, and then this is the touch-up texture, so you can use it to go over areas that have gotten too paper that's gotten too much of its tooth filled with wax. So you can go over it again with this clear stuff, and then it will allow you to go over it with another coat, which makes it really nice to use. So I could try using a little bit of that. Let me just see if I can get my my Posca to work for us, because maybe this one will. Looks okay. It's just a little milky. So if you have a really opaque Posca, you'll be in better shape than I am. Okay, so if I bring this reflection, which I would just draw, you can draw a simple reflection. You can make it look like a window. If you guys can see, the reflection in this, you can see that's the reflection of my light right there. That's the reflection of my window right there. Okay, so you can choose if you wanted to have, it's easy to create a major light source and then to have some kind of basic light source, other secondary light source as well. So I am attempting to do this. It's not working great because again, my Posca isn't fab. I probably should have just tried to use my gel pen. But here, I just wanted to show you guys something cool. Let's let this dry for a little. So if I bring this reflection in a little bit further, it's going to make this shape look a little bit rounder. If I put it closer to the edge and then I color the edge separately, it's going to make it look like it has a flat top on it. So it'll be more like that, if that makes sense. So what you do with your highlights and your shading will help you to determine what form something is going to have in the end. Okay, so I'm just going to put a couple little, these would be like secondary light sources, again, like windows, things like that. Okay. And I know it's not showing up real good. Let me see if I try it with my my jelly roll. I just want to make sure it's still a little bit wet. Of course, it won't draw on top of it now. Ha! It's a little bit better. I didn't see what Sherry just said. Hold on. Oh, thank you, Sherry. Using eyeshadow for pan pastel. Ah, I did use pan pastel to do the background on this. I love my pan pastels. I've never really tried using eyeshadow. Okay, this is not going to go on top of that. But anyway, we're going to pretend it did. We'll say it did. And I'm going to try using one of the other things. The other stuff that I have, and I'll show you on my final copy when we do that one. Where is, oh, here. I have an old tube of this, again, Chinese white watercolor, which is really the same as gouache. It's like white gouache. And if you have like a little piece of wax paper or parchment paper or something, you can use a brush, a little bit of that, and you can use it that way. So I do have a little brush. I'm going to try doing this. We'll see what happens. I like to use a brush, an acrylic for, this is not the greatest brush either. I probably should have spent some time and looked for a better one, but hey, I'm here, right? Okay, I'm just mixing, because my watercolor is so dried out, I'm just mixing a little bit of it with a little bit of water. And then I should be able to, it is really not liking me today. There we go. Sorry guys, I'm just making this a little bit thicker. I didn't realize that my watercolor was dried out. When you don't use it for a long time, that happens. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, that's better. All right, so something that you can do is you can use that. We'll try one of the other things on the final one that we do. And I'm gonna let this dry for a little bit, and we'll come back to this in a minute because there is something else I want to show you. And I am going to go into my final here, and I want to show you how to color the actual picture on the actual grayscale one. And it's going to be very similar to what we just did by drawing. So I would start with either your dark green, or you could start with, hang on one sec, I'm just going to move this stuff out of the way. Again, if you're just joining us, this is our malachite, and we're going to do green pearls. If we have time, a green faceted stone as well, like an emerald. But you could start with any of your darker colors to do this part. And what do I have here? 909. No, grass green is not dark enough. So I would start with either dark green, or I would start with your peacock green, one or the other. You saw I did a combination of both for the last one. Here's peacock. Again, these lines are here for you. If you want to change them, you can. It's really important to follow this shape through, even if you're going to have shading differences, but to follow it through past that, because we want to see that this is this whole entire thing is one form that bends. Okay, so peacock green, I'm just adding some of these little details here. Again, if you don't want to stick to what I've drawn here, you can make it your own. You can draw shapes over it. You can add little knots, make it your own way. I'm going to add a little bit of the dark green going in here. Prisma, I don't think Prisma has burnt sienna. I don't think Prisma has an actual, burnt sienna color. I don't think that they have one called burnt sienna. I could, let's see. No, those are not my browns. No, I can't help you. I have dark brown, sepia, chocolate, burnt umber. There's burnt umber. Burnt umber, 947. There you go. Okay, and now I'm, sorry, got a little sidetracked there. I'm drawing over these lines and darkening them a little bit. Now I'm darkening in here too, because what is happening is this little area is sort of being tucked under this bezel, because it is a flat-sided rock. I wish I had an example to show you. I do not. Okay, it's looking pretty good. And what you really kind of have to decide is, do you want, let's look at some of these stones that I was doing samples of. Do you want your stone to have a lighter edge on one side, the side that's closest to you? Because if you do, then we kind of have to plan for that. And it would be darker sort of in between and go darker on this side a little bit. Okay, that's probably, I'm thinking, the best way to go here for this particular stone. So what I'm going to do is, again, I've added both dark green and peacock green, right? Now I'm going to go back into that next warmer color I told you guys about last time, which was 912. And I'm going to just add a little bit of warmth here. In the center. I'm going to use grass green. I'm going to, do some more 909, a little bit more detail work with a little more variation of color using the grass green to add another color in there. So you can do it that way. By the way, guys, on my Facebook artist page, I did a while back ask people to send me messages with requests for what you'd like to see colored in the future. If there's something specific, you can do that. That looks pretty. Now, you can go darker and deeper, and you can keep on working on this like this. Again, just using the grayscale as reference. This is already laid out there for you. I'm just going to get rid of this little part here. This should be part of the stone itself. Hang on one sec. I'm going to change my lighting on here. That's better. Sorry, guys. Didn't have it full power. And then now I'm going to use my peacock green again. I'm going to go along this edge here. This is a cooler green, so it is going to push stuff sort of under. Like make it look like it's turning, because it is a little bit cooler. Oh, this stuff is easy, my dear. You can do this. Okay, now, to get that edge to kind of shine a little bit, something I might do is add a little bit of 920. This is a cooler, mintier green. And I might even add a little hair of my light aqua. This is really all you're going to need your light aqua for, not much. But this is like reflected light. Light aqua is 92. Reflected light that we're seeing on that side. So you can kind of see that there now. And I'm just going back into my grass green because I want to just add some more overall color, because I feel like there's still too much grayscale showing. And I'm just going to brighten up these colors just a little bit. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start adding my little reflections in these areas. Or I'm sorry, highlights, I mean. That looks pretty good. Okay, before I do that, I'm going to go into my black. Oh, and something else that you can do, I did mention before when we were doing the last one, you can use your white pencil, you can use your Prismacolor white or your Chinese white like I was using, and we can really just blend some of these colors a little bit. And this will actually make it kind of, if I do that, it's going to make it look more like a highlight, like a reflection. It looks pretty like that. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little color around here. And I will try using a different white. What should I use? Should I use the gouache or should I? No, I already did the gouache. Let's do the colored pencil, the brush and pencil stuff. We're going to try this, okay? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So the way this works, this is the only thing I don't think I have listed. I don't know where I got this. I don't think I got it on Amazon. So what you do is you open this up. And I still have my little plastic tab on here because I don't want too much of this to pour out. I'm just using the tiniest little bit. And you don't want to breathe it in because it is titanium, and that's like that is a mineral. You don't want to breathe it in. And this is almost like nail polish, this stuff here. And you basically mix the two. So we'll see how that works. This is definitely not the best brush. Okay, but I just want to show you guys a couple little tricks when you're using highlights, if this works as planned. You have more control with a paintbrush than you do with a gel pen. I mean, that's just the bottom line. Not necessarily this paintbrush. I should have grabbed a better paintbrush. But it'll do. It's small enough. The end of it is still good. Didn't realize how frayed it was. Oops, I'm mixing the wrong part here. just going to do a little bit more right here. And then something that you can do, hold on one sec, mix that. Is this water soluble, this stuff? I don't even know. Let's see. There we go. Now, if I went too far with my highlights, which I did make it a little bit messy, the thing that's nice about this is you can either, and this will work with your Posca, more so with your gel pen. In fact, I'm going to use my gel pen here too. I'm going to create a couple little highlights. And I'm going to take a very sharp colorless blender and so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. I'm going to use it to carve back what I don't want.